Is Tuesday, December 3rd, 2017. Holy crap, we're in 2017. I'm still trying to really believe that's the case. I remember in what was it, like elementary, high school, you know, it's like I remember you would spend like the first 4 weeks trying to remember to not write 2016. I miss those days, kind of, but not really, because I'd much rather just be out and about doing my own thing, not stuck in a high school institution. But we're good. So anyways, today I wanted to actually do a podcast with my friend Sagar, who is currently in Brazil, and he started a channel called, what is it? What is it called? Bringing the Love in Your Life. Wait, hold on. I know what his channel is called. I will find the name of the channel. It's new, and he's created about 10 or so episodes so far. But he really hits on some of the really I guess I would say the truthful aspects of who we are as human beings, and what we need, and you know, it's like what is most important, what is it that truly fulfills us, and what is it that we truly need to thrive. And a lot of those things are very immaterial, and they're the realizations that usually come after either you've spent a life of in the world of materiality, or you've spent a fair amount of time without anything, without any material items. So it's funny how that comes about. But anyways, so you know, I was thinking about that today. So I was planning on talking with him. Didn't work out just because his internet connection isn't too great where he's at. So we're gonna connect at a later date. However, today I was working on a project for a client. And this is a new client that I have. You know, I do social media content for for a variety of companies, and so I just took on this client, and he happens to have content that I'm interested in. I was actually a fan of his content before I started working with him, and so, anyways. I created a video for him today, and about halfway through making the video, I created the first draft, and I watched it, and I started crying, and I was like, whoa, what is going on? Why am I being so moved by this? And you know, although it was a more of a spiritual, more of a I guess I would say a life path oriented video, more of an inspirational video, I really felt that there was more to it than just that. There was something that I was tapping into that I hadn't tapped into for a while, and me tapping into that made a big difference for me, and it was something that I felt like I hadn't connected with in a fair amount of time, especially through my creativity. And so today, that's what I wanted to talk about is the inspired creative. And so what do I mean by the inspired creative? Well, there's creatives, right? There's creatives, and there's creativity. It's like we create in many different ways, and you know, especially if you're a creative and your job, maybe you're a graphic designer, video editor, writer, you know, wherever it be, you know, if your job is to be a creative, you're creating things for other people typically, or you know, even creativity could even we could take that on to your job at work. You know, it's like you're constantly creating things. Most likely you're constantly creating things for your job, whether you're creating something that's physical, like artwork, or some poster, or even like a program of some sort, or you're just creating value. Whatever it is that you're creating something. And you know, a lot of times we find ourselves creating things that we aren't necessarily inspired by. We're just creating to create because it's our job, and it's what we need to do in order to get paid so that we can sleep in our beds. And that is basically how it works, you know. And I spent a fair amount, especially last year, I feel like I spent a fair amount of time creating things for other people, which, you know, I enjoyed the process of creating. However, there weren't necessarily things that I was extremely interested in. There wasn't necessarily I guess I would say I want to say a platform or a system or a freedom to really express myself in the way that I can using my creative talent. So basically, I'll say there are specific limitations that I would say like kept me from being able to really truly access that like truly inspired creative mode. And so today, you know, as I was working on this, I just realized that there was something deep within me that like I had rediscovered, and that this part it's passionate. It's like it's extremely, I want to say it's extremely intelligent. It's passionate. It's moving. It's vibrant. It's excited. It's in the flow. And I think that's the best word to describe it is in the flow. It's true. It is truly like, I guess I would say it's me operating at my highest level. And you know, like thinking about this, I'm like, wow, I spent a lot of time, a fair majority of time, like not operating from this place, you know, and like, you know, obviously like the content had dictated that to some extent, but like my question to myself was, what if I could operate from this place more consistently? What if I could, you know, tap into this truly inspired creative talent even when I'm working on things that might not be the most exciting things, but I could approach them in a way that was exciting, that was engaging, that I could find passion in. And so, you know, I think that is possible. I think that's very much doable, and I think it's something that we, as if you are a creative by job or a creative just as a human, I think it's something that we should aspire to be, because essentially it is the best use of our energy. It is what will keep us alive. I think the worst thing you could possibly do is to it's like I've been so blessed and privileged to move from a non-creative, I guess I would say a profession that wasn't very creative, which is when I was going to school to be a doctor, to a profession that was not saying doctors aren't creative, but like it just depends on the doctor, I would say. But at the time I was not in a creative place, and moving to a creative place where my work is creative. You know, I was blessed and grateful to be able to do that. However, like the worst thing for me was when I found myself in this creative role where I was essentially like dead inside, where I was creating things, but I didn't feel very great about what I was creating, and you know, I wasn't truly expressing who I am. You know, I wasn't truly expressing the trademark, my just the true me. You know, and so. And I think that like we get stuck in that place a lot, you know, and it doesn't necessarily have to be just us creating things, or I mean like or the way that I presented it, the ways that we can create things. I think there's many different ways of creating things, and you know, creation takes up many forms, but I feel like I'm not the only one who has found himself or herself stuck in a place where you are essentially operating from a dead space rather than a space that is truly alive and free and full of joy and full of like zest for life, you know. And so yeah, I wanted to talk about, you know, this, I guess like this topic came up very much last minute for me, because I was like, I'm not talking with Sagar, so what am I going to talk about today? And this is it. And it's like, so I think where I want to go with this is like, how do we, my question for you guys is, how do we remain in that inspired like state? Like, have you been there for yourself? Can you tune into a time when you were there? You know, when's the last time where you were really in that space? I think that for me, it's like, I can remember there was a period of time where I went outside like every morning and just took pictures of the sunrise, and that was truly inspiring to me, and that was wonderful. However, I wasn't working for anyone else. Wasn't working for anyone else. I was doing it for myself. There's a high-pitched volume in my room right now, which is kind of distorting me. I'm not sure what's going on, but anyways, so yeah, it was this energy that I guess so sorry, I got a little distracted from this. Is weird like kind of like high-pitched volume that's being projected in my room. I'm not really sure what that is going on with that, but okay. So so last time I connected was when I was taking photography. What was a time when you connected to that state where you're truly inspired and you're creating things? Maybe it was for someone else, maybe it was for yourself. Tap into that and I guess ask yourself what were you feeling during that time? For me, I was really just it was timeless. I was just really in a good place, and it just felt good. I felt rejuvenated after I was done, and that's exactly how I felt today. And I was like, wow, if I could feel rejuvenated every time I did work, how profoundly effective would that be? And so I kind of want to share I guess how I got into that state today, because so basically what I'm doing right now is the client that I'm working for right now, we're on because I started working for him, I'm doing a 2-week trial with him. So I'm creating content for him every day for the next 2 weeks, and essentially today I kind of went into it with the intent of I want to blow his mind, I want to create the most possible value that I can create for the next 15 days. How can I truly inspire his audience? What can I do to really step into that? And as I started thinking of different ideas, I started thinking of some grounded ideas, and then I really tapped into how can I really make do the best possible job, how can I create the most possible value? And as I thought about that more, and as ideas started to come in, I basically started off from a place where so let's build this from, I guess I started to think in a more structured way, where I was okay, how can I let's set the structure here of this project. And so I broke it up into 10 different frames, and then I was okay, now what do I want within these frames, and what would be inspiring to me within these frames? What would the beginning and end look like? And so once I established that beginning and end point, then I went within, and then I was what would inspire me in the beginning? What would inspire me towards the end? How would that flow look? And so basically, I think what I'm getting at as I'm talking here is that I went in with this intent to bring the highest possible value forward, and through that, I think it brought a lot of inspiration for me, because I think for me it's bringing value, bringing my best forward is inspiring to me. It's truly a phenomenal experience. 1 second, let me get this light. This light doesn't like to stay on sometimes. But bringing my best forward is truly so inspiring, and it's if I know I'm truly doing my best, and I'm able, there's space to do that, where it's my client's yeah, I want to see what you can do it. I'm not gonna restrict you, just do it. That's a really phenomenal place to be. That's a really cool place to be. So I think there is definitely a part of it where it's there are different. I've had many different business relationships, some good, some bad, some okay, and so I think that it is an art to find the right people to work for, and be able to recognize who is gonna essentially support your flow. But then there's another side of you getting to the mindset of I'm gonna give my fucking best today. I'm gonna give my absolute best. I'm gonna create so much value for myself that it's gonna be hard to deny me as a creator. You're gonna want this, and you're gonna want to pay money for it, because it's great. It's heartfelt. It's truly this is who I am. And so I just see that as this powerful explosion of energy, and it's hell yeah. And that I think right there, that is the inspired creative. That is what that truly is. I don't believe in starving artists. I think that's bullshit. I think that's just no, you don't need to be a starving artist. Fuck that. It's you are an abundant artist, and when you let your inspired creative shine, that when you bring that out, people are gonna pay for that. They absolutely are gonna pay for that, and the only way they won't pay for that is if you are denying that or saying no to that. So yeah, it's just like it's how I really feel it. It's so true. It's true because it just resonates with me. It's what I feel is in me, and so I want to bring this up too because I think I've talked about this before, but like you may be like, well, I want to be creative, you know, and like I want to do more stuff, but I'm not really sure what I need to go, what I need to do next. I'm not really sure what the next thing is. You know, it's the beginning of the year. A lot of people might be feeling that. Well, here's what I say to that. Do what's in front of you right now. Do what, think of, if you can ask yourself, what opportunities are in front of me right now at this very moment? What opportunities are there? There's something. I guarantee you there's something. It might be so small that you're missing it, but it's this something. It could be big, it could be small. There's some opportunity in your life right now that you can jump on right now. And it's that opportunity that if you put your value into that, you put your inspired creative value into that thing, you will blow it up and expand it beyond your wildest dreams. I swear to you, this will be true. And you can take something that's like so small, it's like nothing, and make it into something that transforms your life, and something that allows that feeds you and allows you to, you know, provides a bed for you at night and provides you joy and happiness and abundance that like allows you to continue creating and developing your skills as an artist and a creative. And I think there's many amazing things that come from that, but it starts with the first thing that's in front of you. I think many of us we're so caught up in what other people are doing or the story of, like, basically it's just like this is how things need to be done. You go to school, then you get your degree, and then you go for a job, and then you go get a job for working for someone else. You know, it's like using your degree, whatever. You know, that bullshit story, whatever. It's like, no, it doesn't have to be like that at all. It could just be like, oh, this guy, it's like I met this guy at a coffee shop, and he randomly asked if, like, you know, if I do creative work, or like I was talking to him, and he needed help with this one project, and so I decided to help him with that project, not expecting anything in return, but putting a crapload of value into what it is that I was doing because I had the time or the resources to do so, and boom, something happened, you know? Anyways, that's just like it's a mindset. It's like if you go into things with like just bringing your desiring to bring your greatest value forward, that is what the inspired creative is, and that is what we need. You know, that is what we need, because it is that approach that will change the world. It's that approach where it's like you have someone that has that approach, and you bring that to a huge mega corporation that is having an impact on the world. That is what we need. You know, that is exactly what is necessary for us to change the world in a very, very positive way. So anyways, I think I'm done for my rant today. I think that's exactly what I needed to say, and I thank you for listening and watching. I don't know, feeling good. It's a beautiful day, and 2017 is here, and I'm fucking pumped. So I hope you all enjoyed this. I will talk to you all later. Peace and love, my friends.